the 2-inch mark. I suck at this.
Hello, my name is Tyler Esselman, and I am going to be your DraftMaster today for this year's edition of DraftMaster. I'm sitting here in a sweltering hot television studio in Culver City, California with a wet ass, also that you can have as fair and equitable a draft order as possible. To wit, I have my trusty assistant with me today, a man who needs no introduction and deserves even less, Zach Denardi. Hi, Zach.
Hi, Tyler.
How are you feeling?
I'm good. Kind of hot.
Good.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Sopping wet.
Yeah. I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here as well.
I have to be honest. I'm actually kind of sad.
Why?
Well, this is kind of like a sporting event, right? And I don't feel sporty.
No, you look more like a pencil pusher than a shot putter, if you will.
Yeah. I did bring something.
You did?
Yeah. Would you like to see it?
Yeah, I think we can improve on this situation right here.
Okay.
Ah, very good.
All right.
Sort of hillbilly chic.
Yeah. I'm still a professional, but I can move around.
You can work hard and play hard.
Yes. Like we said, this is DraftMaster. If you've seen Taskmaster, then you know what's about to happen. And if you're Alex Horn, please don't sue me.
Don't do it.
But before we get to prize tasks, we have a couple of bonus points.
Oh yes, bonus
Yes.
points.
So Peter, from last year, he won the consolation bracket.
Congratulations, Peter.
So he's going to start with 5 points.
Excellent. 5 points on the board for Peter.
Right.
A little head start.
Correct.
I would also like to. I would like to make a suggestion.
Yeah,
I would like to
you're
make
the DraftMaster.
That's true. I don't have to suggest shit then, don't I? I would like to make a proclamation then that 3 points, 3 bonus points should go to whomever got all of their materials in first.
Great. So we had 3 people who were really on top of things. We had Sean and Chris, but whoever had their stop, the number 1 person was Mary. So Mary, you want to give Mary 3 bonus points?
I'm going to give Mary 3 bonus points for getting all of her materials in first and on time, and I know that Zach probably didn't bother you about it at all.
Right. So, you want to look at the board before we get to the prize task?
Let's look at the board then. Where does it stand? The prize task. Let's begin.
Yeah, so for the prize task, we asked every manager to bring in the coolest correspondence they could from the NFL. Are you ready?
The NFL, whatever that may mean to you.
Let's see it.
So, for my correspondence with people in the NFL, I chose past and present co-workers at St. Vincent St. Mary I've had. This is from Mark Butterworth, who was the president of the school like the past 2 years. So he was actually my boss. Anywho, he just got promoted, and this season will start as the vice president of replay training and development for the NFL. So he left that. That's him right there. He was a cool guy. I got along with him really well.
Okay, so for my best correspondence with someone in the NFL, last year on November 8th, it was a Wednesday, I served the entire Thursday night football crew while they were in Chicago doing the Bears-Panthers game. I had Tony Gonzalez, Richard Sherman, Fitzpatrick, Andrew Whitworth, Taylor Rooks, Carissa Thompson, and that was the day that Jason Kelsey sat in with them. Kelsey was wearing a Wiener Circle t-shirt that was at least 3 sizes too small for him, probably a medium on his XXL body. I'm doing my whole spiel, my server spiel. Down at the other end, Fitz, Kelsey, and Whitworth, they're not paying, they're just talking. And Carissa Thompson goes, everyone, excuse me, this is Peter. And they look at me like they've just been given the most useless piece of information of all time. I just give them the Leo. End the meal. Fitzy pays. Tips $300 on an $800 tab. It's 42% tip. We'll take it. And end of the night with Sherman and Tony Gonzalez shaking my hand. Gonzalez's hand, it was like shaking hands with a baseball mitt. Just engulfed my hand like me shaking my kid's hand. All in all, they were all super nice. Yeah, good times.
So when Zach initially sent me the prize task, I was like, oh, great. I've got this in the bag. I have so many friends in the NFL who I can reach out to for just a random interaction. And, I was going through my Rolodex of, again, all of the NFL players that I personally know on a very deep level. And before I could even, reach out to, again, my extended contact list of active NFL players currently in the league who are on a first name basis with me, a random actor in the non-equity scene in Chicago, before I could even reach out to that, Darius Slayton of the New York Giants, my favorite team, tweeted me unprompted. And that's what you have here.
Best correspondence, all-time NFL. Only one thing comes to mind, and it's actually an email exchange. This is Matt Light. One off-season, he had an excused absence where he was in Hawaii, and he happened to give a press interview. He talked about how important it was to, as a team, go through the training camp experience, even though he was excused from training camp. The next morning, he woke up to an email from Bill Belichick, this guy, telling him, hey Matt, I was really upset to read this quote from you, the only guy who's not in camp, talking about the importance of camp. Maybe you can do better. And this upset Matt Light. So Matt Light carefully crafted a very long-winded email with the help of a thesaurus, where he used a lot of big words, a lot of SAT words. Bill Belichick crafted the most Bill Belichick response I could have imagined. I couldn't have written it better. Finally, Matt, there is no need to use multi-syllable words in your email that neither you nor I know. I am unimpressed.
Okay, so this is all I've got, and it is a rendition of the time that I met Peyton Manning. So I worked for a 5-star restaurant in Boulder, Colorado called the Flagstaff House. And I got called before my shift to go buy Bud Light, and I was like, we're a 5-star restaurant. Who the fuck is requesting specifically Bud Light? And the host on the phone was like, well, I think it's one of the Broncos because Bud Light is like an official Bronco sponsor. And I was like, and we're told Peyton Manning and some friends are coming in for just drinks and appetizers, and then they're going to go to the game at the University of Colorado. And we are not to talk to them. We are not to interrupt their dinner. They do not care if we've been working there for 3 months or 30 years. They will fire us on the spot. And it's time for him to leave to go to the game. And he gets up, and he's leaving the bar, and he goes to shake my manager's hands, and the owner and the 2 on-shift managers have lined up. And my motherfucking ass, I was like, fuck this job. I sidled up. I got to the end of the line, and I shook Peyton Manning's hand. And, he was just, thanking the managers for the dinner, and he was like, thank you, thank you. So he just told me thank you when he got to me, and I just said, you're so welcome. And then he left. And my manager was like, I could kill you.
All right, so that was the prize task.
All right.
What do you want to start with first?
Well done, everyone. Well done. We're well on our way to a nice fair draft order. First, can I ask you to just define the term correspondence for me, Zach?
Yeah. So the definition of correspondence by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary says a communication by letters or email. The news, information, or opinion contributed by a correspondent to a newspaper or periodical, or the agreement of things with one another.
I'm going to go with that first definition, the communication by letters or email. This has to be written, people, and so we're going to use that as our kind of guiding light here. And because of that, I think I'm going to give the top spot with 6 points to Kevin for his email between, I believe it was Mark Butterworth,
yes,
a man from within the NFL. Working on the replay. I think it's a pretty cool job. It sounds like a pretty cool job. Yeah. Low-key, very cool job. After that, I'm going to give 5 points to Sean for his tweet that was very real. Well done on that very real tweet from somebody within the NFL, Sean. And then we get into the next tier of results. Devin, it is correspondence between Bill Belichick and someone, but it's not correspondence between Bill Belichick and you, which I believe was the spirit of the instructions. So I'm going to give you 4 points. And then for Peter and Mary. I'm sorry, you two, but you just didn't have any written correspondence between you and these people. You only met them in person. One might argue that the receipt that was signed by Ryan Fitzmagic counts as correspondence, but not today. Not with this DraftMaster. So, Mary, you get 3 points for meeting Peyton Manning and shaking his hand and risking your job for it. And Peter, as cool as that night must have been, you get 2 points. But a $300 tip, that was pretty good.
I have one more question.
Okay.
So we had 3 people who didn't do anything. What do you want to do with them?
0 points for them.
0 points?
0 points. Shame! Let's see the score so far.
Here we go! Are you ready to see the first task?
Oh, I'm so ready!
Excellent! So this one, we're asking our managers stat questions from the NFL season, but they have a little twist.
Twist me, Daddy.
So go ahead and read that. It's in the chat.
You will be asked 6 questions regarding gameplay statistics from the 23 season.
You'll indicate to Zach when to start and stop the stopwatch.
Your answer to the question will be the number on the stopwatch when you indicate to Zach to stop the stopwatch.
You will have 10 seconds from the end of every question to tell the stopwatch to start. Otherwise, it will go automatically. You will not be told the time on the stopwatch. Just start and stop.
Oh, God. Okay, but I never get to see what the stopwatch says.
Yes, so for this task, I asked them questions, 6 to be exact, and I had a stopwatch. And to answer the question, they had to answer the question with the number on the stopwatch by saying stop or start.
Sounds like it was a little convoluted.
It was a little convoluted. Some people had multiple problems, but we got there in the end.
Let's see how they did.
What was the time in seconds for the average throw time for a quarterback?
Start.
Stop.
What was the highest speed in miles per hour of an NFL ball carrier?
Start.
Stop.
What's the time in seconds of the fastest sack?
Start.
Stop.
What was the average amount of thrown interceptions per quarterback?
Start.
Stop.
What's the highest average yards per run by a running back?
Start.
What is the average 40-yard dash time for a center?
Start the timer.
Stop. I shouldn't be having a stopwatch myself, right? I'm just like counting with my fingers.
I think I did pretty good. I used my own stopwatch.
So, would you like to know how I figured out the answers?
I would really like to know.
Right, so I took the difference of their answer and the real answer. So if the real answer was 2 and they said 1, the difference would be 1. So I took all of them from all of the questions and I added them together, and that was the aggregate. And then I compared it to the real answer all together, the aggregate. So if someone had the lowest number, that'd be the most accurate. And if someone had the highest number, that would be the least accurate.
Okay, so we want a low number.
We want a low number.
Okay.
So Mary came in at 37.77.
Which is not great.
Not great. That means she was 37 seconds away from the actual answer.
Sorry, Mary.
Sorry, Mary. So Brian came in after that with 16.5.
Slightly more great.
Yeah, I mean half the score of Mary.
Yeah.
Peter after that with 13.25.
Not bad.
Chris with 12.25, so 1 second between those two.
Okay.
Kevin, 10.75.
Getting better.
Sean and Ian, so Sean was 8.47 and Ian was 8.81.
Wow.
Really close.
Yeah.
And Devin came in at first place at 7.69, which is crazy because there were 6 questions. So if you think about the math, he's about 1 second over per average question.
How does he do
crazy.
it? How
Yes.
does he do it?
So if you want to just give the points
Let's
out
give
that way.
him points in that order.
Great. So we have Devin with 8, Sean with 7, Ian with 6, Kevin with 5, Chris with 4, Peter with 3, Brian with 2, and Mary with 1.
Excellent.
You want to see where they are right now?
Show me that.
Are you ready for the second task?
I'm so ready.
So for this task, we wanted to check their recess gaming.
Recess.
Yeah.
What were your recesses like?
Lonely, sitting at a table alone, eating my tuna sandwich.
You know what mine were like?
What?
I was making money, providing for my family, doing real man stuff.
With that, let's go!
Kick the longest paper football field goal. Kick the longest paper football field goal, period.
For your field goal to count, you must record yourself flicking the field goal and measuring it in one take.
Ha ha. Could have guessed this one.
Very self-explanatory. You have to flick a paper football field goal and try the longest attempt.
A paper football field goal. That seems pretty easy. You have to flick it with your finger through 2 specified goalposts. Seems pretty straightforward. Surely everyone was able to do that.
We'll see.
Okay, Ken, what are we gonna do right now?
Sew the paper?
There and then go with this.
Yeah!
Okay. Keep it running. Have markers.
Yeah! But something occurred to me after I tried to do way too much. I'm just going to read Zach's task here again. Kick the longest paper field goal. You must record your longest attempt. For your field goal to count, you must record yourself flicking the field goal and measuring it in one take. Now I want to talk about the word attempt, because that implies that we don't need to, in fact, make the field goal in order for this to count. And I am declaring that this attempt is for a field goal post in Dubai. See how I do? I missed 7,227 miles. Beat that.
So, that was the second task. I think the elephant in the room, Devin.
I'm going to get to Devin in a moment. But first, could you read the last sentence of the instructions for me, Zach?
Great. Yes. For your field goal to count, you must record yourself flicking the field goal and measuring it in one take. And I have to also say, the sentence above that says you must record your longest attempt.
You must record your longest attempt. And you must measure it. It's like a little message for Devin. Come here. Hey, you. Come here. You cheeky little fucker. You think you're so clever, don't you? You think you really cracked the code. You really found out a little loophole to try to get yourself a nice long distance. Well, you forgot about one thing, Devin. You didn't measure it. I didn't see you take a tape measure out. I didn't see you use your arms to create a rough estimate of how long the distance was. Even that would have been measuring it. But do you really think that typing the distance between 2 points into Google is measuring it? I don't think so. Not in this house. Bad. Just bad.
Okay, so the next question, do field goal posts count?
Yes, you must have 2 specified targets that you are trying to kick the ball through for it to be a field goal. Field goal Otherwise, it's just a punt.
Okay, and then Chris...
A paper football punt.
Chris, we're going to count because it's between the two handles of the bin.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So, if we're going by that definition and by distance...
Great.
Chris had 348 inches.
8 points for him.
8 points for Chris. Kevin had 90 inches. Also goalpost. He had between the two in the wall.
Goalposts are there. 7 points.
Peter, 86 inches. Only 4 inches smaller than Peter.
Only
or
that?
Kevin, excuse me.
7 points for you.
Yeah, he had the wind socks, which were really cute. And then, do you want to put Devin under that?
We'll put Devin right in the middle because it was a cheeky little answer, and I appreciate the interpretation, but there was no measuring, and there were no goalposts.
Great. And Devin's, if you want to know what Devin's was in inches, 457,902,720.
Very impressive.
Very impressive. Brian had 160 inches, but no goalpost. So
4 points.
4 points. And we'll give Devin 5 points. Sean had 3 points with 152 inches, but no goalpost. And Mary had 74.5 inches, but no goalpost.
No goalposts.
All right, you want to see where they are right now?
Let's see the board.
Ready for the next task? The last task?
I'm ready.
Yeah, so this one, we want to check their artistic ability.
Ooh, okay. Do your worst.
Create an artistic interpretation of any part of the songs on this playlist.
You may be inspired by any section.
So for this task, they were given a playlist of NFL classic songs, and they had to make the best artistic interpretation of it.
What a good task. I feel like I'm pretty clear on this. An artistic interpretation. Lots of room to play there. Let's see how they did.
Yes, let's.
Choose your character.
So that's all of them.
Ah, that's great.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I was really impressed by actually everyone. Okay, so yes, I think I'm gonna have to have a few ties here, and if we're going on the highest level of inspiration, and the ones where I felt like it was truly an interpretation, an expression of the song or something about the song itself, there are two that kind of stood out to me most, and that was Mary with her cat fight, and Peter with the Carrollton High School marching band. Those two,
so
I'm gonna give them both 8 points.
8 points each.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely. Just below that, responses that felt like inspired, but not quite on that level of inspiration as those top two. I thought Brian with Choose Your Character was very strong, and Kevin with the Madden montage.
how many points?
Let's say 7 for each of them.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So we have Devin watching the Bears, Sean in cat football, and Chris with his painted nails.
See, and all those were quite good too. It's kind of abstract in some ways, and each seems like they were really in the voice of the person who was responding. So I think I'm going to give all 3 of them 6 points each.
Great.
Yeah.
But we happy with all of them. We thought they all did a good job.
Yes, I think they all did a wonderful job.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so we're ready for the final tally.
Let's do it.
Let's final tally. Okay, here we go. Ian with 6 points. Brian with 13 points. Mary with 17 points. Chris with 18 points.
Ooh.
1 point between them. Sean with 21. Devin with 23. Peter with 24. And coming out on first place, Kevin with 25 points.
Kevin, congratulations. You won this year's edition of DraftMaster.